Okay, welcome grade 11s. I'll be going through unit 2 of chapter 9, which deals with climate change. And so we're just going to look at the various aspects that lead to climate change and what the impact of that is on our society, as well as some definitions. So the causes of climate change is the Earth's climate. So climate change means basically changes in the Earth's climate, especially those changes produced by global warming. So climate change is a change in temperature and weather patterns as gases such as carbon dioxide and methane build up in the atmosphere. They trap the sun's heat. This heat causes changes in weather patterns, and so on and so forth. So you'll find, such as this here, our summer was really hot and our winter is really cold. That is part of climate change, and we can visibly see the impact of it on our society. And now, obviously, if you mess the weather is sort of not the same, it will impact different ecosystems as well as our crop yields and timing of when to plant certain crops and stuff. So that hampers our food supply, which inadvertently obviously affects us. Right, so the impact of climate change on development. Climate change will have the following impact on development. The world will get warmer and rainfall patterns will change. Water will evaporate and streams will dry up. There will be less water available for farming, drinking, and industry. Maize, fruit, and cereal production will be badly affected. Farmers will go out of business. People will lose their jobs and there will be less food. The number of forest fires will increase and not enough rain will fall for new trees to grow, which also then impacts our oxygen. The sea will get warmer, which will have an effect on the type or number of fish. Fishermen may lose their jobs and there will be fewer fish to feed people. Sea levels will rise. The sea may flood places where people live and cover whole islands. Droughts, floods, and extreme temperatures are a threat to health. Cholera outbreaks are possible in extreme weather events, especially in poor settlements where many people live closely together. Right. So here are some keywords. So we went through what is climate change. Global warming is the slow heating up of the Earth's atmosphere, and extreme weather events are floods, hurricanes, cyclones, and droughts. So it's just paid to mind in this chapter is all the impacts that we had in the previous unit discussed on how we as a species is a hazard to the planet, and we need to be mindful of that. So your mitigation of and adaptation to climate change. There are some things you can't do to mitigate or lessen the effect of climate change and adapt to them. So use motor cars less. A lot of countries have opted for a public transport system, and South Africa's public transport system is in a disarray. Aside from taxis, the railway has been shut down, and that is a huge impact on commuters. Although Ria Vaya was established as an alternative route to traveling, a lot of people still use taxis, and this again still allows for motor cars to be used. It'll be less, but it has its own pros and cons. So public transport here is a way to mitigate or lessen climate change. Don't build houses in places where there are likely to be floods and big waves, obviously. Plant indigenous trees that are drought resistant. So evergreen trees, for instance, would be a good solution. Recycle paper to save trees. So all the worksheets we give you, please do not lose them, as a tree had to be used for that paper. So please use paper conservatively. And it's good to recycle paper in the best ways you can. You could shred it, send it to a shredder company, and so on and so forth. Turn off the tap and don't let water run. We don't want to waste water needlessly. Turn off lights, insulate your house, and use a solar water heater. So here, if a room is not in use, by now you should know you turn off the light. Collect rainwater to use in the garden. So you could collect your rainwater to use for the garden. It could be used for cleaning, There's various ways you can go about collecting and salvaging water. Okay, so that's basically the end of that. The main point of this unit is to know what climate change is and why it could be possibly bad for humans, right? With some detailed examples and explanations that are here in these points that were mentioned. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to go through the definitions. You were given a worksheet where you had to define the following terms, and we were given this as an additional worksheet for those that were at school with the answers for that. The rest of you were given it on the group where you had to use this to make corrections. Okay, so basically I'm just going to read through it. Environmental issues are problems with the planet's systems, air, water, soil, and so on, that have developed as a result of human interference. Social issues are a group of common problems present day and one that many people strive to solve. Inhumane is being cruel, causing suffering to people, animals, and not caring about it. Mutilation is to damage an animal's body very badly, often by cutting off parts. Deforestation is the destruction of forested areas, and degradation is the process of damaging or ruining something. Environmental hazards are the dangers in or to the environment. Greenhouse gases, any gases that make Earth heat up, such as carbon dioxide. Climate change is a change in the Earth's climate, especially those changes produced by global warming. Soil erosion is a gradual process that occurs when the impact of water or wind detaches and removes soil particles, causing the soil to deteriorate. Ecosystem is a biological community of organisms and their physical environment, a complex network or interconnected system. Global warming is a slow heating up of the Earth's atmosphere, and pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environments. Radiation is the transmission of energy in the form of waves or particles through space or through a material medium. Effects are changes which are a result of an action or other causes. Infrastructure is the basic equipment and structures such as roads, buildings, electricity, and sanitation that are needed for a country, region, or town to function properly. So these are the definitions that you need to also know for your test. Right. I wish you all the best for your test, and that you stay safe and behave.